Well, Peter Racy and John McGregor have been making a series of short YouTube videos in the lead up to today, the 25th anniversary of the opening of Expo. Peter describes himself as the director of the 25th anniversary People's Committee, and he's with me in the studio. Morning, Peter.
Good morning.
You were not when Expo was around 25, opened 25 years ago. You didn't have a big involvement. It's just in the last 12 months, in the lead up to today.
Yep, I've had immersion therapy. Effectively, I think I spoke to the Lord Mayor prior to the last council elections, searching around for policy ideas. There's a council asset called Paradigm, beautiful asset, world unique sculpture, and the council has been sitting on it and protecting it, not out in the general public for the last 25 years. And I thought, and I convinced Graham, that it's something that we should have a careful look at. The best way of getting it re-erected was to, have a very successful 25th anniversary. And at Graham's suggestion, I actually contacted John Hudson over in America. And
was he the sculptor?
Yeah, yep. And he had all the original drawings, all the original photographs of it being made, and they're all up on the Facebook page, and there's YouTube's done of it. Absolutely amazing stuff. And he went on after Expo. He was actually the lead sculptor in the Beijing Games Sculpture Park, and funny enough, Rick Birch, who was the entertainment director here, ended up choreographing Beijing Games. And so the World Expo connections just thread all around the world. It's just amazing.
There's another sculpture that you've taken a particular interest in. Some would call it a sign.
Yes, exactly.
But you say it's not a sign. Now, this is the big Kendone, the letters Australia.
Yep.
It's a sad story. What's going on there?
It went up to Shaftesbury College. It was $10 paid for it. The Reverend Alan Mail had a business model and was used in weddings. And then there was some controversy with the way that it was being run, and he was removed from the position, and they changed their business model on how to help disadvantaged youth. And it converted itself into a cow paddock, and the signs have been sitting there ever since. And luckily for us, they have stood the test of time quite well, considering they are in a cow paddock. They weren't of special metal, and they are just crying out to be rescued and put back on display. They are sculptures. The special paint had to be made for it, special design. I have actually tried to get Ken Done engaged in saving them, and like a couple of the post-Expo, Expo people, they don't really want anything to do with it. Their life's moved on, and I haven't been able to get any engagement out of Ken at all, which is just unfortunate, but I can fully understand it.
You're trying to find a new home for this sign.
I tell you the story. So Campbell Newman gets selected. I think we'll go to South Bank, knowing that they're going to say no, because their model has moved on.
It would look great outside the ABC building here.
It would make it look ridiculous. So they are just monstrous.
The height of this building?
9 metres high. And they are just, they are large. They need an open space. I then went to Goma because they have a little bit of space down there, but their space is dedicated to the Asian Pacific Triennial, and that's fair enough. I then went to the Brisbane City Council, and the Lord Mayor has got lots on his agenda and just couldn't fit it in, and I understood that. I then went down to the Australian Museum, and yes, we would love it, fantastic, but we don't own any land. We'll have to go to the ACT government. Oh no, they're visual pollution. You can't have them on the foreshore of Lake Burley Griffith. That went down to Google. Then I thought, yesterday, the Stockman Hall of Fame, 25 years anniversary for it. The Queen was out there, flew down here, opened up Expo. I thought, that would be also a good place for them to go. They've got plenty of space. I drove out there, had a talk to the general manager, got good enthusiastic response. They went and had a look at their charter and their funding model from the federal government. No.
Long story short, you still don't have a home for it.
No, unfortunately.
Okay. So if you have a thought, Peter Racy is the man. Now, we've heard a lot about the heroes of Expo 88, the likes of Sir Lou Edwards, I guess.
Yep. And Sir Frank Moore, one person who just stood heads and shoulders out there, just a driving dynamo.
If there are heroes, there must be. Were there villains? Were there people who tried to stop it?
Yes. I don't know if the word try to stop it, but certainly one person was there who was frustrating it, and I think he championed the ABB Society there, anywhere but Brisbane. And that was Malcolm Fraser. And it was a very interesting story because James McCormack was making sounds in Canberra and in the BIE about, that Australia needs an expo, Queensland should have an expo. And then Malcolm decided, well, it had to be in New South Wales. And that failed, and then it came back up here. But luckily for Queensland, Malcolm fell off a horse. Doug Anthony took up the reins on behalf of Sir Joe, and we got our expo.
There we go. Happy ending to the story. Peter Racey, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And if anyone has any thoughts on where to put this whopping big set of letters that spells Australia, that probably just needs a little bit of a touch-up, but essentially iconic. Anyone who looks at it just goes, we remember that from Expo.
I've got people to move it, and I've got people to paint it.
You just need somewhere to put
Exactly
it.
right.
Okay. What's the name of the Facebook page?
Foundation Expo 88.
Thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you very
much. Happy 25th. Thanks for the cake. You brought a cake. I can't believe you brought a cake. Thank you. The producers are all out there probably finishing it off. There won't be any left by 8:15, but I'll go and pinch a piece back from them. Peter, thank you so much. Good to see you again.